Skull Rock Podcast is brought to you by the generosity of the following companies: the Old Mill Press, publishing beautifully crafted books that illuminate our world. To learn more, visit theoldmillpress.com, and by listeners like you.
Aye, ladies, remember this as the day you sailed with the Skull Rock Podcast. Proceed at your own risk and mark well me words, ladies. Dead men tell no tale.
Happy New Year, and welcome back to Skull Rock Podcast, a show about all things Disney and pop culture. Every week we take you behind the scenes of some of your favorite Disney films, theme park attractions, performances, books, music, as well as what's streaming, what's in theaters, and what's happening in this universe of entertainment. I'm Aljon Go, Disney fan and pop culturist, and you can email me, Aljon, A-L-J-O-N, at skullrockpodcast.com.
And I'm Dave Bossert, artist, filmmaker, author, and welcome to the Skull Rock Podcast. If you love Disney and pop culture, please subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts. You can also like and follow us on Facebook, X, Blue Sky, Instagram, LinkedIn, and on our very own YouTube channel. You can also email me at dave@skullrockpodcast.com. Happy New Year, Aljon. We're kicking off, I think, like we're in the midst of our 5th year on the air with the Skull Rock Podcast. So this is just craziness. But I kind of feel like at this point, we're going to start changing it up a little bit, doing something different, aren't we?
Think so. I think we're going to start doing some YouTube shorts and some reels and some really cool things with video this year. Our fans demanded it. They wanted it, and we're going to try to give it to them. So we'll see how this new technology works.
Yeah, and you know, speaking of suggestions, I would love for our listeners to send us notes, send us some emails or social media messages, and let us know what you like, what you'd like to hear more of, see more of. We're wanting to evolve the show and just make it that much more exciting for people. We get a lot of great feedback as it is.
It is true, and we really appreciate that. And one way you can do that is feel free to send us those emails. You can send us voicemails there using your smartphone with the link in our show notes, or you can leave us those comments on our YouTube channel. We appreciate that as well.
And Aljon, this is a show that we typically do. We're not going to have a guest today. We're just going to kick off this year, 2026. I mean, I can't even believe that the holidays are now in the rearview mirror.
I know, right? I mean, it came by so quickly, and things happen, life happens, and here we are. I can't believe it's 2026. This is what, the bicentennial year for the United States.
It is 250 years as a republic. I mean, it's
unbelievable.
Amazing.
It is amazing, Dave. And by the way, how did you guys spend your New Year's?
Very quiet New Year's. We had the whole family together in the new house, and we really, if I were to sum it up, Aljon, I would say we had a culinary adventure for 2 weeks. We were hitting different restaurants and, occasionally eating at home, but really just enjoying ourselves and enjoying being together as a family.
That's great. And, and we did very much the same thing, very low key over the holidays. And I ended up getting under the weather, Dave, that about. That's why there was no vault show last weekend. Sorry.
Yeah, hey, listen, I think everybody wanted to have a break, and your health is way more important than getting a vault show up. So,
Yeah.
and it exposes the weakest link because I can't do it.
Well, Dave, I'm sure you could have if you really, if you had to do it, you could. But it's just best we take a break, and now everybody feels much better. Everybody's good, and just low key, we just sat here watching Dick Clark's Rockin' Eve and saw a bunch of bands play. Saw the New Year's Eve also in Nashville because they broadcasted that on CBS as well. So it was a rockin' country New Year's Eve with the fam. The kids were so excited. They didn't want to sleep, Dave. They just kept on wanting to watch TV and sit up with us. And eventually their batteries finally ran out. But ours did as well. Trust me. It's like I'm good if I even make it to midnight. These days I'm to bed super early.
I did not make it to midnight, I admit it. But I will tell you on New Year's Eve, I did watch the fireworks go off in Sydney,
Yes.
Australia. I
That's
watched the
amazing, right?
fireworks go off in Taipei.
Mm,
I saw them bang the giant gong, the giant bell in South Korea.
yeah.
I saw fireworks in Hong Kong. So I did watch some of that as the new year was being rung in various time zones around the world. But I did not stay up for the ball to drop in New York.
I did see it. And it is beautiful to think that, in a moment of time, so many people can celebrate together. I hope that we have more of that.
Yes,
That's my New Year's hope and wish. And I love seeing it celebrated across the world in so many joyous ways. The fireworks in Sydney were great. And I have to send a shout out to Mel C because I'm such a huge Spice Girls fan. Shh, don't tell anybody. But she ended up doing a Spice Girls medley, which was great. I'm, reliving my 90s days in college, the drunken parties.
there you go.
But yeah, it was really cool. And then to see it just around the world, and then to see how it was celebrated by quincentennial, at the Washington Monument, and then New York, and the ball dropping twice is just really, really cool stuff. So yeah, new year, new times, and hopefully just a fresh perspective and, peace and love, man. So
That's it. That's
love
it.
it.
That's all we can hope for.
Yeah.
And I didn't even go out to the movies too much during
Oh,
the last couple weeks because having the family and we were all out doing stuff and going for drives around the Delmarva Peninsula and exploring and as I mentioned earlier, going out to eat quite a bit.
I get it.
So it was, but I did manage to watch a few things, and we'll talk about those in a few.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, once again, gang, if you have any feedback, please let us know. We appreciate it. Just send us those emails, those drops, and let us know, and we'll read your comment, or perhaps maybe a show topic or something you'd like for us to review. We would be happy to do it in a future episode. All right, Dave. And while my computer still doesn't have its real sound effect, let's just pretend we heard the projector roll
Okay.
and go into what we've watched this weekend. I know you've been busy, Dave.
Yeah, but I did manage to watch Wake Up Dead Man,
Ooh,
a Knives Out mystery on Netflix.
yeah.
And I really enjoyed this movie starring Daniel Craig. This is from Rain Johnson. It's the third film in the series directed by him. And it was a very enjoyable movie. The essentially the plot centers on Benet Blanc investigating a seemingly impossible murder at a small church in upstate New York involving a young priest, Josh O'Connor, who was terrific, and a firebrand Monsignor played by Josh Brolin. The film features an ensemble cast, including Daniel Craig as Blanc, Glenn Close is fantastic, Mila Kunis, and Jeremy Renner, and explores themes of faith and religion. Excellent, excellent mystery. I would highly recommend this. Rotten Tomatoes gives it 92%. IMDb gives it 7.4 out of 10. And check it out on Netflix.
Nice.
Then, Aljon, it was the Christmas holiday. I watched Die Hard, the original, the
I love it.
1988 action thriller
Love it.
with Bruce Willis.
Yes.
Um,
So the age
it's
old question there, Dave,
yeah.
is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
Yeah, in my mind, it is.
I believe it is too. Now
Yeah,
I had this before you go into it, I had this discussion on my Instagram page, and some people say no, it is not. Um, and I say, well, yes, it is because to me, it's about motivation. John McClane goes to this Christmas party and wants to be with his family, but this is the roadblock that impedes him from enjoying Christmas with his family. It's the fact that his wife is being held hostage and all this stuff, and all he wants to do is be home with his kids for Christmas. And this is what it's like: planes, trains, and automobiles,
it really is. I mean, Die Hard, the original, 1988, is a classic action film starring Bruce Willis as NYPD John McClane, who takes on a group of terrorists led by Hans Gruber, played by a fantastic Alan Rickman, during a Christmas Eve party at the Nakatomi Plaza skyscraper in Los Angeles, becoming the only hope for the hostages, including his estranged wife. Look, this is, in my mind, a holiday movie, the kind I like anyway. And so
Yes.
I watched it. It was wonderful to see. Now, also, Aljon, you mentioned it earlier. We're in the midst of a 250th anniversary celebration of our great republic here this year. The United States turns 250 years old in July. And so because of that, we watched as a family National Treasure on Disney Plus. The 2004 original version of the film is an action adventure starring Nicolas Cage as historian Ben Gates, who races to find a legendary treasure by decoding clues hidden on the back of the Declaration of Independence, leading him to steal the document to protect it from a ruthless rival.
Yes.
Just an absolutely fun, albeit implausible, I guess, to some degree, but
Yeah.
absolutely fun movie, and we thoroughly enjoyed it as a family. I would just encourage people, if you haven't seen it in a while, check it out. It's on Disney Plus.
It's so good. It's so
Now,
good.
Aljon, sticking with the history theme, I watched a show on PBS called A Taste of History, which is a cooking and travel series hosted by Chef Walter Staub that explores America's culinary beginnings by recreating 18th century recipes in historic locations, from colonial kitchens to international sites, bringing American history to life through food. The
Yes.
show, I mean, it's really actually a very fascinating show, and it made me think, like, no wonder people died when they were in their 40s and 50s. I mean, this guy is cooking with chicken fat and, pork fat and meat. I mean, the stuff he was doing, it looked delicious, but boy, this stuff will kill you. And he
Yes.
said
Yeah.
the show features the recreation of dishes from the founding fathers era using period appropriate tools and ingredients, and has been airing since 2009. So I really I've actually been fascinated by this. My younger daughter Marley was the one who was watching it, and so I've watched a bunch of the episodes of this show, and overall it has an 8.8 out of 10 on IMDb.
Yes.
You can watch it on Tubi, on Prime, and of course on the PBS app. So it's interesting seeing him recreate some dishes that John Adams liked to eat.
Ah.
So, it was really very fascinating. The guy's very entertaining in the way he's presenting these dishes and explaining how things were done, hundreds of years ago. So that was fun. And then, I've talked about this series from Britain. It's called Shetland. It's a detective series. They just started season 10, and the first couple episodes have dropped, and I'm watching that on Prime, and I just absolutely love it because, they're solving complex murders in the remote and atmospheric Shetland Islands, which is off the northern coast of Scotland.
Yeah.
And I mean, the show is known for its stunning scenery, character-driven plots, and moody atmosphere. The show stars, an ensemble cast, and they investigate crimes rooted in the close-knit communities in the Shetlands. And I have to say, the series has been praised for its unique sense of place and emotional depth, with Ashley Jensen taking over as D.I. Ruth Calder in these later seasons. She was in season 9 and now back for season 10. So really a terrific show. I love the cinematography. It's absolutely beautiful. One day I'm going to go visit the Shetland Islands because of this show. And then
Nice.
yeah, and then finally, I watched season 4. I binge watched season 4 while my, wife and daughters were out shopping. I watched, Mayor of Kingstown season 4 on, Paramount Plus, and it's just a terrific series. I think season 5 may be the last of it. It's, a show from, um uh, who's our favorite guy over at Paramount Plus? Taylor Sheridan.
Taylor Sheridan.
So, Mayor of Kingstown is a crime thriller series on Paramount Plus starring Jeremy Renner as Mike McCluskey, the unofficial mayor of Kingston, of fictional town Kingstown, Michigan, a town where the business of incarceration is the only major industry. The show follows the McCluskey family as they try to bring order to the town, dealing with themes of systemic racism, corruption, inequality, acting as liaisons between the prisoners and the community. It was created by Taylor Sheridan and Hugh Dillon. The series premiered in 2021 and has been renewed for multiple seasons. So, I just watched season 4, which was fantastic. It had Edie Falco
Yes.
came in for an arc through the season as the new warden of the prison. So there's a lot going on here, some great characters. Check that out on Paramount Plus. Aljon, what have you been watching during the holidays and while you were laid up? I mean, you must have been binge watching stuff from your hospital bed.
I did watch a few things. Okay, so first of all, I will say that the kids, it was all about the kids.
Yeah.
I did see Jingle All the Way
Okay.
revisited. I love this. I love this movie because, first of all, I'm a big Arnold Schwarzenegger fan,
Yeah.
and this is kind of a departure for him being in a, kind of a comedic film. Brian Levant directs. It's just a lot of fun. He has his kind of antithesis, Sinbad, the mailman, going head to head, trying to find the last minute gift for Arnold Schwarzenegger's son, a Turbo Man action figure. They go from place to place to place to place. Department stores are sold out. Kind of, this movie came out in 1996, but it reminds everybody of the kind of Tickle Me Elmo or the the toy of the year, Cabbage Patch Kids back in the 80s, of everybody rushing to get this special toy for their kid. And he is a last minute shopper, didn't make time for his family. And the kids absolutely love this. And seeing at the very end that my father was Turbo Man the entire time is kind of heartwarming. And of course, there's a bunch of physical comedy that happens as well. I think that Sinbad and Schwarzenegger really are great foils. And there's so many great cast members in this as well. So it's a great watch for the holidays. Another thing I did do, Dave, is we saw the Star Wars trilogy, the original trilogy with the kids,
All three.
all three.
Wow.
And the kids wanted more and more. And it got to the point where, you know, they love Star Wars Galaxy's Edge anyway, and they saw a little bit of the animated series, Young Jedis and stuff like that. The kids just love it. They love meeting Chewbacca and Rey in the park and the Mandalorian and Baby Yoda, Grogu, all that stuff. But they finally saw the OG, and they love Obi-Wan Kenobi. They love Chewbacca, of course, Luke Skywalker. And the moment that I was waiting for was the moment that it said, I am your father, you know, the big reveal. And they were like looking at me like they were speechless. They were like speechless. I videotaped it. I was like, this is crazy. So I saw it with the kids and they couldn't get enough. They still love more and more, and they love Luke Skywalker. And I'm just very happy that my kids are finally going down that path of watching Star Wars with the parents. So I'm happy that.
Wow, that's awesome.
So yeah. So then we also saw,
did you feel like the movies held up?
I think so. I mean, I feel like they did.
Okay.
Now, I am back in the day, the pacing is a different situation, but the kids at this age, they're 5 and 6 respectively.
Yeah.
Their attention actually held, and they actually sat through, you know, a couple movies. They love Return of the Jedi and the Ewoks specifically, but as you know, they would. But I think they'd held up. I think the pacing is a little bit, for today's audiences, slow.
Okay.
It's just slow for today's audiences, but that's the pacing I like. I like the breathing element. I like the slow wipes that Lucas employed in the editing, and the cinematography is grand. I like the fact that it establishes a world within shots that are just beautifully staged of this well-worn, not utopian look, but just a well-worn galaxy of, this is the rebellion. It's well-worn. Everything kind of looks like a used car. Everything is great, right? And then you have the uber kind of, you know, starkness and coldness of the Empire. Everything's shiny and new. So those kind of things work well off each other. Of course, the casting's great, but the music, my God, the music is great. And I think the special effects held up for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting. I think that because they're what, 40 years old now?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so I think that the timing and pacing of films has changed dramatically over 40 years. I think
100%.
I'm sure if those films were made today, or if you took those films and went in and did an editing pass, you'd probably tighten them up by 20 or 30 minutes.
It's funny how you say that, because I think for the big screen, I think you would. I think you would change a few things, and you'd maybe go larger, almost as if Lucas was able to correct that in his sequel or prequel trilogy.
Yeah, yeah.
So there's a lot more time spent on quick moving world establishment shots, because he had the ability and the special effects to do that,
Yeah.
versus being so tight with Star Wars. And you can definitely tell in The Empire Strikes Back, you know, it's almost like a kind of a bottle episode, if you will, Dave, in your film TV production work, when you save a lot of money by doing these kind of ship in a bottle episodes where everything's kind of self-contained, and you spend, you know, nearly half the film in the Millennium Falcon in The Empire Strikes Back, because they blew the rest of the budget on establishing those shots of Vader and Luke and the gantry fighting and doing all the matte paintings and special effects. But a lot of that stuff, when they're in the asteroid field, is like Han and Leia and Chewie and C-3PO in the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon. And you're like, wow, it's really closed in. You know, there's not a whole lot of special effects. It's all done in a set.
There you
So
go.
those are the things that you don't realize until you're older, but it's very cool how they did that. But it was all about character building, but the kids loved it. So I love that. A couple other things that I did see when I was laid up, Dave, is I ended up seeing something by Gordon Ramsay. Are you a fan of Gordon Ramsay's shows on Nat Geo on Disney Plus?
I've watched some of his shows, you know, because he's had so many different types of cooking shows and competitions, and I've watched some of them over the years. I haven't watched them all.
Well, Uncharted is a great show. I love it because you love to travel, Dave. And I saw one where he goes off into parts of England and you talk about historically, making these recipes and he goes and does this kind of they call it like a lardy cake. He goes up
Gosh.
and literally
Woo.
it's like folded dough on top of lard and then on top of folded dough and lard. And he basically like, this is not going to be part of the dinner that I'm hosting. But it is but Gordon Ramsay journeys to some of the most incredible and remote locations on earth in search of culinary inspiration, epic adventures, cultural experiences that he will never forget. So it's one part, kind of the intrepid traveler type of show, and in another part, at the very end, he actually does a cook-off with somebody to see if he's actually mastered the local flavors of the particular countries, whether he's in Peru or in England or wherever else he's traveling to. It's really fascinating, and I love the way it's shot. They do so many great establishment shots of him on the countryside or taking his Range Rover to like the cliffs where he's diving for mussels or whatever he's doing. And it's just a really great way to kind of live vicariously through Chef Ramsay. I think he's really great. One of the people I'd love to meet, honestly. I think Gordon Ramsay's a fascinating
Yes.
personality. So that's really cool. Other things, I did rewatch Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire.
Oh, the
Spider-Man,
original
the
3.
original Spider-Man. It's so good, Dave. And I would put this probably in my Mount Rushmore of superhero films. It's so good. It holds up. The acting is great. I like the special effects about it. Of course, this is Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man
Sam
in
Raimi
2002.
directed.
Sam Raimi.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just so good. Tobey Maguire is great. William Dafoe is amazing. Kirsten Dunst, super believable. James Franco, it's all good. J.K. Simmons, so good. So go out of your way if you haven't seen it in a while.
I did a little work on that show. Did you see my
I
name in
know
the
you did.
credits?
I know you did. I know you did, Dave. How was it working on Spider-Man?
You know, the one thing that stands out because look, I I got a very good friend of mine, Jeff, was the second unit director for Sam Raimi. And I did with a friend of mine, Mike, the two of us created just a couple shots that Sam wanted to add, but Sony ImageWorks had no bandwidth to add anything more. They were humping to try and get the movie finished in time
It
for release.
looks great. Yeah.
These couple of shots that we did for Sam, what stands out is that when I was working at Disney, but I like after work, I drove across town to Sony Studios, and I met with Sam in an editorial bay, to go over stuff. And Maker's Mark, the whiskey,
Yes.
was like a product placement in the movie.
Well, yes, it
So
was.
they had cases of it. And so before we did anything, when we had a meeting, the first thing we all had to do was a shot of Maker's Mark.
I love it. I love it. Can I tell you that is amazing. What a great tidbit.
I know
So,
it
yeah.
was really funny, but Mike and I finished these couple of shots literally. I want to say it was like 2 or 3 weeks before the movie premiered.
Oh my gosh, Dave.
Yeah,
Wow.
it was craziness.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I would think that this scene probably takes place toward the end of the film?
No, it's actually after Toby gets bitten by the spider,
Oh my
and
gosh.
he's in his bedroom.
Oh my gosh, that's great. So it was you and the webs.
It was sort of going into the synapses of
Oh,
his
of his
brain.
brain.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
So,
amazing.
anyway,
That is great.
it was just I just have some fun memories from that, so
Well, I knew that you see, longtime listeners will know we touched on this a while ago,
oh,
and
yeah, a
this is
long time ago.
way in the very beginning. But I love this film. It's so
Yeah, no,
good.
it's a great film, and by the way, anybody who would be sitting there going, "Well, you were working at Disney, isn't that competition?" No, because this was before Disney ever owned Marvel.
Yes.
And it was a live action film, and it was just some special effects shots. To me, it was a very common practice in the 80s and 90s for people who were working at Disney Animation to do freelance.
Exactly.
And everybody did it. I mean, you would be shocked at some of the freelance, but the line I really wouldn't cross was that I wasn't going to work on a another animated feature that would be in direct competition with films we were working on. I wouldn't
Yes.
do that at the same time. I just felt like that just wasn't, some people did, but for me that was just something I wouldn't do. But I did
So
tons of
you're
commercials and I did some special effects projects and things like that. So it was always a lot of fun, you
you
know.
were you were super busy, Dave.
Yeah.
You were super busy. But I love the fact that you and the rest of the animators were able to get in and work on these spec projects, and contribute, in your time. I mean, to me, it's like you not never slept. You were always doing something.
Yeah, I have to say during the 1990s, I did so much stuff. Was and it was partially because I was being asked to help out on things, and I would always say yes because a lot of times it was friends calling me up and say, "Hey, could you help us with this? Could you help us with that?" And the other thing was that, I was just, there were a number of years I was making more money freelancing than I was at the studio.
Sure.
And because I was working so much, I just invested, and I'm reaping the rewards.
Well, and that's the thing, right? I mean, that the time that you have to work where you're, you know, quote unquote, a hot commodity,
Your peak years.
your peak years. I mean, I hate to say that you're a hot commodity, Dave, but you know, when you're at your zenith, at your full strength, you can only, you know, take advantage of those opportunities while you can, because you never know. It's almost like a feast or famine mode in Hollywood, is it not sometimes?
Without question. In fact, I have to tell you, Aljon, in the early 2000s, I started saying no to freelance projects. And
Yeah,
the reason why I did that was because that was the big transition that was happening in the industry from hand drawn to computer generated. I was doing really well at Disney and I didn't really have to do the freelance work, but I was doing it because I enjoyed it. Genuinely liked doing it. I liked drawing, but when they started laying off a lot of people, I kind of pulled back because I wanted people who needed the work to get the work,
sure.
and I didn't need it. I was doing it because I enjoyed it. I was having fun
And
with it, but I wanted to see other people who actually needed it to pay their bills get it. So I sort of stepped back from that at that point. And I was happy to, but, it was just a busy, busy period,
yeah,
and again, a lot of fun.
yeah, it was definitely a serious boon during that time period for sure. Because I can tell you, I couldn't even turn the channel without seeing animation on commercials every 30 seconds.
Well,
There
yeah,
was so much
absolutely.
animation going on, not to mention the big screen and the small screen. So there
Yeah.
was a really big time for animation. Well, moving on from Spider-Man and
Yes.
your animation.
We went on a tangent there,
No, it
sorry
was
about
good.
that.
Well, hey, look, it's just us doing the show today, so might as well, right? Might as well indulge ourselves. Pardon us as we indulge ourselves.
There you go.
Let's talk about Stranger Things, Dave, because they finally released the penultimate and the series finale, and I can tell you that I just about stood up in my chair, Kristen and I, when we were watching the series finale. It was such a great kind of emotional release, because these are characters we've lived with for 10 years, Dave.
Yeah.
10 years.
It's
We've seen
amazing.
these kids grow up. We've been waiting for years for seasons to complete, and writer strikes and pandemics, and the kids are growing up and they're doing their own movies, and they're not kids anymore. And then you weep when the characters are, you know, when I saw Return of the Jedi, and it was the last one, in your heart, you're like, this is the last one.
Yeah.
And then the same with Back to the Future. This is the last one. And, and then so with the Stranger Things, or even The Walking Dead for me, I felt like that was the last, that was it really. Everything else doesn't really count. This was it. And this to me was so cathartic because I could relate to the characters. I don't know if you saw the series finale, Dave. Did you see
I
it?
have not watched it yet.
Okay, so I'm not going to spoil it, but I will tell you that it is emotional. And in some ways, I will say that it's very relatable because how people grow up in their lives. I view my high school years very fondly. There was a lot of struggle. There was a lot of, everybody's learning their way, and I could relive the moments in my mind of these children who, a lot of them felt like they were outcast. I can relate to that.
Yeah.
I could relate to being an outcast and loving Dungeons and Dragons and being a musician and a guitar player. I wasn't a jock. I didn't do this, that, and the other, but I did other things, and I can relate to that. I found my tribe. I
Yeah.
could relate. And these friendships that you make along the way are just a snapshot of what your life is going to be comprised of and become the fiber of who you're going to be. And in a lot of ways, you say goodbye to that innocence as you move into the larger world. And these characters certainly do that. And I think it was a great way for the Duffer Brothers to send off these characters and say, it's time to watch them get into the real world. But there's still that magic. It's still there. It's put on a shelf for you to revisit. And I revisit it every time I see an old movie, Dave, that we talk
Sure.
about.
Sure.
I see it every time I revisit Star Wars with my children. I am able to go through it in the parks and nostalgia when I can see it through my children's eyes. I can see it when I watch Stranger Things.
Yeah.
And it means a lot. It means a lot to a lot of people. We'll talk about that because it certainly resounds with a lot of people. But I think they tapped into something, this nostalgia, and it's really poignant and palpable. And
Awesome.
so while I can say that there were some things in the series, little final series that timing wise, I thought they could have tightened up. I understand why they gave everybody their character moment and a lot of dialogue. There is a lot of dialogue, more than I thought, because I thought it kind of took away from the pacing that they had established in previous seasons. But I thought it was good. There's a lot of things that I wish they would have wrapped up that they didn't, but I can understand why they left it open.
They did break up the final season into two pieces, right?
They did. Uh-huh.
Because I was gonna binge watch the final season. I don't know how many episodes it is, but
It's just a handful of episodes, but
yeah,
they're longer than you would expect. I think
they're
they're like 90-minute episodes,
yeah, I was
Dave.
gonna say they're 90-minute episodes. Yeah.
So it's very cinematic.
Hmm.
It's very anthemic. I think the music did really well. I will say that they fall into a Stephen King trap because I am a big fan of Stephen King's adaptation to films.
Hmm.
And I think a lot of the criticisms I have of Stephen King films, and I would say it's more than just a handful, is that the the third act tends to fall a little flat.
Huh.
But I will say this, the denouement of it all makes it worthwhile. So the series of payoff setups and payoffs, I think, is really good.
Okay.
So I think overall a good solid 8.5. And the actual final episode of the entire series, I give a 10 out of 10
Wow.
because there's a lot of tropes that they do at the end. And Dave, when you see it, I can't wait to hear what you say about it.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so I
There we
can't
have
wait.
it. I'm gonna try and binge watch it hopefully in the coming week or so.
Yeah, high praise for Stranger Things. Kudos to the Duffer Brothers. They just announced the fact that they are doing an animated series on Netflix coming out this year that will take place during seasons 2 and 3, I believe.
Okay.
So, and then there's also a stage play that they're doing now, and
Right.
then they have a another possible spinoff that's in the works. So I'm looking forward to more Stranger
Yeah, and
Things.
they've signed a long-term thing with Paramount, so I'm looking forward to see what they come up with next.
Good stuff. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Speaking of good stuff, Dave, one of the cutesy movies that I've seen is The Bad Guys. Are you familiar with The Bad Guys? I'm sure you've seen the first one.
Is that from DreamWorks?
Yeah, I think it's from Universal.
Universal,
I think
right,
it's
right, right.
Universal
Illumination.
Illumination. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I
yeah.
think I saw it on Peacock streaming, and the bad guys are struggling to find trust and acceptance in their newly minted lives as good guys when they're pulled out of retirement and forced to do one last job by an all-female squad of criminals. It's fun. I really like the art style. It's very Kung Fu Panda guy characters trying to do good in the world. Sam Rockwell as the wolf is amazing. Mark Maron as Snake, Aquafina in there as well. Great cast of voice actors, really squishy looking art. I really dig it. The kids, of course, enjoyed it. Um, I give it high praise, like a 6.5. It's very good. I
Awesome.
enjoyed it.
Awesome. All right.
Dave, here's a tearjerker. I put this off because my friends told me that it's really super emotional, but I saw it in the hospital when I was injured. This is A Dog's Purpose. Have you seen this, Dave?
No.
Okay, A Dog's Purpose came out in 2017. A dog discovers the meaning of its own existence through the lives of humans as it teaches to laugh and love. Reincarnated as multiple canines over the course of 5 decades, the lovable pooch develops an unbreakable bond with Ethan. So this is based on a book. And I will say that this really pulls on the heartstrings. If you're an animal fan, you love dogs and cats, you're going to love this film. Josh Gad voices the dog Bailey, who gets reincarnated time and time and again, and through his quantum leap of lives that he is, as he's reborn from dog to dog and learns about life, humanity, what it means to be a happy dog and to bring happiness to others. It is just a really, really tear-jerking, heartwarming story about him and his owner, Dennis Quaid, who plays Ethan, and what he goes through in life.
Yeah.
And it's sad, but it's also heartwarming. It's been released now for years, 2017, and there's a sequel. I'm going to check that out, but go out of your way to see A Dog's Purpose. It's a great family movie. And that's all I've seen.
Wow. That is certainly a lot of stuff for both of us, you know.
It really is, but I can't wait to delve into Stranger Things. In the meantime, what have you been watching? Let us know in the show notes, and we'll check it out and
You,
review it for a
you
future
know,
episode. Yeah.
Aljon, the theme here, the thread was watching with family.
Yeah.
We were having a communal experience, each of us in our own way, watching a
Yes.
lot of this content. And I think that's what's so great about some of these really well-made movies and television shows is that it is a communal experience when you get to sit and watch it with family.
Oh, it certainly is. I mean, going to movies is a communal experience, and I love it
Yeah.
because it is the tribal nature of what we do. Dave, this is your life's work. You go, you create movies for people and shows so that people can watch and enjoy. Entertainment at its best is when you can turn off your brain and enjoy yourself, put yourself into that world. And whether it's with a group of moviegoers, because you spend your hard-earned money, and this is something people look forward to, is spending money to see a quality film. They hop in their cars as people, families. We all go to the theater. We buy the popcorn. We go in and we do all the things. And then we sit down. We watch the trailers. We laugh. We look at each other and go, "Did you see what I just saw? Did you hear what I just heard?" It just sounds bigger than life. And then, you know, I loved watching Spider-Man No Way Home with people. I enjoyed watching Avengers with people because we all can scream and yell at the same things. We all cried when Tony Stark got evaporated. Like all of those things mattered, you know?
Absolutely.
And with a family, it's great because once again, when I Am Your Father shouted out and you look at your kids and your kids are aghast going, "Did I just hear that? The bad guy of all bad guys is the father." That's what you live for. right? Those are the reveals. So I love it, Dave. Good stuff. All right, gang. Let us talk about.
Skull Rock Podcast. This week in Disney and pop culture.
Oh, yeah. The big number, Dave. 25 million. Do you know that New Year's Eve Stranger Things, the finale, debuted simultaneously on the streamer and roughly 600 cinemas everywhere in the United States? Crazy.
I thought this was fantastic when I saw this, Aljon, because to me, it just shows you that some of the content they're making for these streaming services deserves to be on a big screen. And they made a phenomenal amount of money by putting it in the theaters.
It's unbelievable. And so my understanding is that Stranger Things 25 million was sold because Netflix, I guess, cannot sell tickets, but they sold vouchers for concessions. Did you hear about that?
No.
So they sold concession vouchers, and I believe that some theaters sold them for $11, concession vouchers. So, because of course, 11. So they sold it for 11. Some sold it for like 20, $25, but people went in droves to see it. And wow, I don't think this is going to be less. We're going to see of Netflix doing these to these huge tentpole shows that they have, like Stranger Things. And Stranger Things, just so you know, in streaming, the most viewed series and movies of the week, according to Hollywood Reporter, 8,460 million minutes of viewing as the number one series right now, a streaming series. And that, of course, is just a fraction of that is Landman on Paramount Plus at 1.3 million minutes. That's amazing, Dave.
And by the way, Landman is a great show.
Landman is a great show.
You know, it's in its second season. I've been watching it as the episodes are dropping. It's just a fantastic, another Taylor Sheridan hit as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And K-pop Demon Hunter is still doing huge numbers for Netflix as well. And that's just streaming. But let's talk about the box office. So outside of, streaming and box office vouchers, Avatar 3 flies past the 1 billion sleeper hit The Housemaid. But it also delivers a win for Sydney Sweeney, so that's good. James Cameron's threequel achieved a milestone on Saturday. New Year's weekend box office. Other holidays include the sleeper hit Housemaid and Timothée Chalamet's Marty Supreme. Dave, this is good. James Cameron.
Yeah, I'm actually going to try and see Avatar this coming week in the local theater by me, because it's, again, one of those films you have to see on a big screen. It's, I think, the final installment of the Avatar trilogy.
Wow, is it? I thought they might do more, but
at this point, look, when a movie crosses $1 billion at the box office, I'm sure there's people talking about, can we do another one? Can we do a 4? Can we do a 5? I mean,
yeah.
Look what they're doing with Frozen, right? At
Exactly.
Disney,
it's a franchise. It's a franchise. So the global earnings through New Year's Day through Thursday were a mighty 935 million, including 266 million domestically and 699 overseas. That is huge. And of course, I will also say Zootopia 2 over the holiday season has grossed $1.51 billion to date since its Thanksgiving release. By the way, we talked about this on the show. Zootopia 2, the number one highest grossing animated film of all time.
Yeah, supplanted Frozen.
So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow, those are huge things.
Yeah.
So congratulations.
Yeah, and by the way, you absolutely know that they're going to be announcing a Zootopia 3 at some point.
Why not? Those are lovable characters. I mean, the stuffies that they sell alone are going to be millions of dollars because my kids are going to own all of them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so Paul Feig's well-reviewed sleeper hit The Housemaid is doing well as well. So I think this is going to be a good year for the box office. Dave, what say
Yeah.
you?
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to this year. I thought this past year was not a great year for movies. There were some standouts here and there, but overall, I didn't think it was as strong a year as previous years, you
Gotcha.
know? So I am looking forward to this coming year. I'm looking forward to the next Tom Cruise movie that's going to be coming out. There's some good films that I think are gonna be coming out in the coming year.
I think so. I think so. I think we're all of us are looking at Marvel to step up to the plate and deliver huge for all of us stockholders. It should be a wonderful thing.
I hope so.
All right. Here we are, Dave. We're back to one of our infamous segments.
Roll call.
The Wire actor Isaiah Whitlock Jr. dead at the age of 71, Dave. This happened recently over the course of the right before the New Year's. Wire actor Isaiah Whitlock Jr. at the age of 71. Veteran star was best known for his roles in The Wire, Veep, Your Honor, and The Residents. He took his manager, Brian Liebman, took to Instagram saying, "It is with tremendous sadness that I share of the passing of my dear friend, Isaiah Whitlock Jr. If you know him, you loved him. A brilliant actor, an even better person. May his memory rest forever. He will be very missed. Will be missed." And you may not know the name, but you know his face. Once again, just one of those actors that has, graced the TV and the silver screen, and you'll know him from The Wire if you see him. Just a great African American actor, Dave.
Yeah, it's, again, 71, that is young.
Yeah, for sure. Well, talking about young, one of my favorite bands of all times, Dave, is The Cure. And the guitarist Perry Beaumonte, dead at the age of 65 after a short illness. Perry is the guitarist and keyboardist for the iconic British rock band The Cure, has passed away at the age of 65. Singer Robert Smith, the leader of the band, longtime members Simon Gallup and Jason Cooper, announced the news on a statement on the band's website on Friday. He passed away following a short illness. Dave, I've been a fan of The Cure since the 80s, and I'm very saddened by this.
I mean, so young. My God, it's just awful.
Absolutely.
And they haven't said what the illness was, the short illness.
Yeah,
It's just
there's no
terrible.
word on it. Yes,
Yeah.
it's just very sad. Quiet, intense, intuitive, constantly and hugely creative. Teddy was a warm-hearted and vital part of the Cure story that Smith had said, wrote in an article recently. Very sad. Also in the news, Patricia Heaton mourns the middle co-star Pat Finn after his death at the age of 60. Another young guy, Patricia Heaton, of course, one of the actresses, mourning the loss of a fellow co-star in the middle, Pat Finn. Very young, Dave, very young. He had a bout with cancer.
It's awful.
Yeah,
Awful.
very sad. Jethro Tull's original guitarist Mick Abrams dies at the age of 82. Jethro Tull has been a classic rock band. I mean, they are a huge classic rock band. And if you remember, they actually won a Grammy back in 1991 for Best Heavy Metal Album, stealing it from Metallica that year. That's kind of their note, if I'm not mistaken. But he died at the age of 82. A vocalist, Ian Anderson from Jethro Tull, confirmed the devastating news in a statement he shared on the band's website on December 19th.
That's terrible.
Yeah. So, Dave, a lot of us in the Disney space, and I used to, be a YouTuber, if you will, and the early days of YouTube, and definitely a Disney vlogger back, maybe about 15, 12 years ago when it was certainly very new. We kind of mourn YouTuber Adam the Woo. Are you familiar with Adam the Woo and his
Yeah,
content?
I've heard of him, obviously, and this was really kind of, I mean, it's sad because he's so young.
For sure. A travel YouTuber and Disney YouTuber Adam the Woo had excitement for Christmas as he uploaded a final video just a day before he was reportedly found dead in his Florida home. 51-year-old vlogger David Adam Williams had a very upbeat post on Sunday, and it was very sad that they did a wellness check on him and they found him that he had passed.
Do they know why?
They don't know why as of yet. So
See, look, just like, the Cure guitarist who died after a short illness. I'd like to know what that short illness is, because I don't want that short illness. You know
yes,
what I mean?
for
So
sure.
tell us what that short illness is so we can avoid it.
Yeah, for sure.
And what happened to Adam the Woo?
Yeah, it says police have not yet given a cause of death for Williams, who started vlogging back in 2009. And of course, his following had grossed over 100 million or over a million subscribers across his two channels. Very sad. But, I remember doing events at Disney, and I believe he's done some media events back in the day when we all used to get invited to these media events, especially at Walt Disney World. And all of us would come gather, and even though I didn't have a lot of interactions with Adam that I can remember offhand, I know that we have attended a lot of events together. But I know he has a huge following, and so it came to a surprise to many of us. So our condolences to his family and friends. Driving home for Christmas singer Chris Rea died at the age of 74. This is last in our news bit, but he's best known for his Driving Home for Christmas song. Ray died in the hospital following another short illness, Dave, according to a statement from his family to
I
Britain's.
want to know what this short illness is. I mean,
I
there's
know,
two
right?
people this week that died from a short illness. Is that the name of the disease, short illness?
That's
Because
short illness, Dave.
I don't want the short illness.
No, short illness is part of it. Driving Home for Christmas didn't become an overnight hit when it was first released in 1986, but it did gain a lot of traction over the decades. It's to one of the UK's most loved festive songs. So definitely very sad indeed. Well, Dave, that wraps things up. If I've missed anything, I apologize. Hopefully we'll get to it in an upcoming episode. In the meantime, let's wrap up this little puppy, shall we?
Yeah, well, something I do wanna mention before we leave, that we've
Okay.
got some great guests coming up.
Ooh,
Next week, we're dropping the first of a 4-part interview with Ed Nowak, the former
whoa.
Deputy General Counsel of the Walt Disney Company.
Yes.
Now that's gonna set off alarm bells over at the Team Disney building. But
Ding,
you
ding,
know
ding, ding.
what? Ed and I have had a great conversation, and we're gonna share that with our listeners because I think it's very insightful.
I can't wait.
Yeah, no, so it's gonna be very enjoyable. We've got animators and storyboard artists and, directors and all kinds of people coming up in the coming months, and we're looking forward to, again, every week dropping an interview. Some are gonna be multi-part, some are gonna be individual, one-offs. We're gonna have returning guests. So I'm just teasing the hell out of it, okay?
We're not overhyping and underdelivering, gang. You know what we do every week.
Yeah,
Dave.
we're
Dave
consistent.
Dave is consistent. That is for sure.
Skull Rock Podcast, where you hear the stories behind the adventures.
Let's get out of here!
Come on, Scotty, let's get out of here.
Let's get out of here.
Let's get out of here. Let's get out of here, Lieutenant.
Can you believe it, Dave? We're out.
I know, and by the way, I love the bumpers you put together.
You like the bumpers?
Oh,
They're
I
more.
love that bumper. We're out of here, Scotty.
Well, I do my very best to do movie quotes and find
Yeah.
movie quotes. So maybe we'll have more movie quotes coming up in this year as I try to overhaul all of our audio for this year.
Yeah,
It's gonna be a lot
we're
of fun.
gonna change things up. I mean, come on, we're in our 5th year. We're just gonna keep changing it up. All right, keep our
We are.
listeners on their toes.
We have to.
Yeah.
We have to. That's our job. Once again, you love Disney and pop culture. Be sure to follow us on all the platforms. We're going to do our best to update them. At least I will. Dave does his thing. I'll do my thing. I'm going to do better at my thing. All right. So follow us on all those social media platforms. Be sure to check out this whole show archive we've had over the past 5 years plus there at skullrockpodcast.com. Find us on Spotify. Find us on Apple. find us on YouTube. And we would certainly appreciate you subscribing to the show and leaving us those 5-star reviews. Leave us those comments on the regular. Help propagate the show and prop us up and share it. Share to everybody you know. If they love films, pop culture, and Disney, they're going to love Skull Rock Podcast. So please follow me. I'd appreciate it. Aljon Go on Instagram, Aljon Rocks on X. Please follow me. I've got all kinds of great stuff. You can also check out my other podcast, Dining at Disney. We shoot a show every single week. We've got some videos coming up that you'll love about the Disney dining plan and how to maximize your time in the parks. Check us out there at diningatdisney.com, everywhere you find podcasts. And a quick shout out to our friends at Source Radio at srsounds.com, all Disney music all day at srsounds.com. Dave?
Well, Aljon, our podcast listeners can find me on the Tunes Behind the Tunes on Sirius XM, Disney Hits, channel 133. I'm spotlighting a new song every month. And next week, I'll tell you what the January song is, because I don't even know. I mean, we recorded all these episodes. I don't know which one they're going to drop for January. But you can listen to the Disney Hits channel 133 XM. You can get signed copies of some of my books at theoldmillpress.com. You can check that out. And, of course, there's a ton of free content and free giveaways at my davidbossert.com website. And with that, Aljon, I'm going to say Happy New Year to everybody. The holidays are in the rearview mirror. Go out and have a fantastic first week of 2026. And we'll see you back here next Monday, right here on the Skull Rock Podcast.